Washington. They'll always have a seat at the table. They'll always have access and influence. That's the way things work. We understand that. The people who really need a champion are the Americans whose letters I read late at night after I come up from the Oval Office. The men and women that I meet on the campaign trail. You know, the laid-off paper mill worker who's retraining at the age of 55 for a new career in a new industry, she needs a champion. The restaurant owner who's got great food but needs a loan to expand and the banks turned him down, he needs a champion. The cooks and the waiters and the cleaning staff working overtime at a Vegas hotel trying to save enough to buy a first home or send their kid to college, they need a champion. The auto worker who got laid off, thought the plant was going to close, then got called back, and now is filled with pride and dignity building a great car. He needs a champion. That teacher in an overcrowded classroom with outdated textbooks digging into her own pocket to buy school supplies and not always getting the support that she needs, but knowing every day she might reach that one child and make all the difference in that child's life. She needs a champion. All those kids in inner cities and small farm towns, in the valleys of Ohio, the rolling Virginia hills, the streets of Concord, kids dreaming of becoming scientists or doctors or engineers or entrepreneurs or business people or teachers or diplomats or even a president, they need a champion in Washington. They don't have lobbyists. The future never has as many lobbyists as the vested interest in the status quo. But it's the dreams of those children that will be our saving grace. It's their dreams that will be the foundation of America. And that's why I need you, New Hampshire, to make sure their voices are heard, to make sure your voices are heard. We have come too far to turn back now. We've come too far to let our hearts grow faint. It's time to keep pushing forward, to educate all our kids and all our workers, create new jobs, and rebuild our roads and our bridges and discover new sources of energy. To broaden opportunity, to grow our middle class, to restore our democracy, and to make sure that no matter who you are or where you come from or how you started out, you can make it here in America. New Hampshire, that's why I'm asking you for your vote. You know, last night I was down in Virginia. We had a huge rally, and we were talking to our staff, and you know, our field organizers, they're all 25 or 22. And we were talking to them, and I said, well, how are things looking? And they seem pretty confident. And I looked at David Plouffe, some of you know, he's my big campaign poobah, smart guy. But Plouffe and I looked at each other and we said, you know what? We're no longer relevant now. We're props. Because what's happened is now the campaign falls on these 25-year-old kids who are out there knocking on doors, making phone calls, and then they realize that pretty soon, after they do their jobs, then they're not relevant either because it's now up to you. That's how our democracy works, right? That ultimately it's up to you. You have the power. You will be shaping the decisions for this country for decades to come right now. In the next 2 days. And if you're willing to work with me, if you're willing to stand with me, if you're willing to knock on some doors with me, if you're willing to make some phone calls with me,